Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah, we are starting our lessons again after a period of maybe 6-7 weeks. By the grace of Allah, we went for Hajj, and it was a very pleasant journey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our misgivings and accept whatever little we have to offer. And may Allah accept our Hajj and the Hajj of all the Hujjaj. Alhamdulillah, we prayed for everyone, all those connected to us who come to this tafsir, and for those who listen on the website as well. We were with the Canadian group, Alhamdulillah, Bagia Travel and Tours, my friend Shuaib and my friend Ahmad. They invite me and they take me along with them. And we had a group of about 270 people, nearly 300. And we used to take care of them, Alhamdulillah. And we had very good place in Makkah Mukarramah, very close to Haram, and in Medina Munawwara as well. And in Shaykh as well, all the group was, Alhamdulillah, together. We had programs in Mina, in Arafat, and in Muzdalifah as well, dua as well, Alhamdulillah. And we prayed for, made du'as for everyone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. But since, while we were going around, we bought some barakat from the Khadur Zamzam. We also bought this very nice booklet called Suwarum min al-Haramain. Some pictures with regards to the Haramain Sharifain. So, I want to show it to all of you, including the viewers at home as well. Alhamdulillah, this is the tasweer of Khane Kaaba. Kaabatullah Sharif, Alhamdulillah, as it is, you can see the beautiful house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The kiswa is black and the writings on there are in gold. And over here as well, Quran Sharif is written. In these small sections, Qul Huwallah Sharif is written. In some, Ayatul Kursi is written. In some other surats are written. And the color black has been since a long time. And Baytullah Sharif used to have a covering before the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. Even during the era of Jahiliyyah, they used to cover the house of Allah with some clothing. It comes in a hadith that once Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, went stray and he was lost during his infancy when he was a child. So his mother went frantic and she searched for him all over the city of Makkah Mukarramah. She couldn't find him. And she made a vow that if Allah returns my son Abbas to me, then I will sew ghiraf and covering for Kaaba with my own hands. And when she found Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, she fulfilled her vow. And she made sew a ghilaf for Kaaba Sharif, weaved it with her own hands, and then she brought it and put it on. So the kiswa has been going on for a long time. And it's sunnah, it was during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. It's a mark of respect for the house of Allah. And Alhamdulillah, may Allah give good reward to the government of Haramain Sharifain, that they put new kiswa on every year. And this kiswa and ghilaf is changed on the day of Arafah. When all the Hujjaj are in Arafah and Haram Sharif is virtually empty, that is when they bring the new kiswa, take the old one off and put the new one on. So when we come back from Mina for Tawaf-e-Ziyarah, we can see the new ghilaf of Kaaba Sharif. And it looks really beautiful. We return after Hajj. And Alhamdulillah, so this is the Kaabatullah Sharif. This is an aerial view of Haram Sharif. See this Kaaba Sharif there? And all this Haram is packed with Hujjaj and the Musallis. And now these are the huge buildings around Haram Sharif. This building is called Darut Tawheed, and we were staying over here, close to Darut Tawheed. This is another view of Kaabatullah Sharif, with less people inside, and there is the Salah going on, and nightly view of Haram Sharif. Another nightly view of Kaabatullah Sharif. Some pictures of people praying inside Haram Sharif. This is the door of Kaabatullah Sharif. And this is the ghilaf on the door of Ka'batullah Sharif. The area between this door and Hajar Aswad is called Multazam, and that is the place where du'as are accepted. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in hadith, Al-Multazam mawdi'un yustajabu fihi du'a ma da'a Allah fihi ahadun illa ajabahu. Multazam is a place where du'as are readily accepted. No person has made a du'a at Multazam, but Allah has accepted it. So we go and we make, after finishing tawaf and praying 2 rakats of Tahiyyatul Tawaf, we go to Multazam and we hold on to the door of Kaaba and the plinth of the door of Kaaba, and then we make du'as over there. Du'as are accepted. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself made du'a. Sayyiduna Umar radiyallahu anhu was making du'a over there as well. And Shaykh, Hazrat Maulana Khalil Ahmad Saharanpuri made 3 du'as over there, and he said 2's acceptance I have seen, and inshallah Allah will accept the 3rd as well. One was, he was writing the commentary of Abu Dawud Sharif named Badlul Majhood fi Hal Abi Dawud, and he was scared that I will not be able to complete it and my time will come and I will die. So he made dua, oh Allah, give me life until I finish this commentary and sharah of Badlul Majhood. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua and he was able to complete his sharah of Badlul Majhood. And then he said second dua, during those days, nearly about in the year 1924, 23, 24, there was no peace and security. There was a lot of chaos, and it was hard for people to travel from Makkah to Medina, and there were lots of bandits and robbery and highwaymen robbing people. So he made dua that, oh Allah, make the journey for Hajj easy from Makkah to Medina and make the road to Medina peaceful. Allah accepted his dua, and everything was peace and aman prevailed. And the 3rd dua was, oh Allah, forgive my sins and be pleased with me. So he said, inshallah Allah will accept the 3rd one as well. This is Maqam Ibrahim. Inside is that stone on which Ibrahim alayhi salam stood when he was constructing Ka'batullah Sharif. And the stone miraculously raised, and it kept on going round while Ibrahim alayhi salam was making Ka'batullah Sharif. He did not need an elevator or a lift or a crane or anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided the automatic stone for him. And because he might fall over, so Allah made the stone soft, and his feet sank inside, and he was stable, and he wouldn't shake and he wouldn't fall off. And that stone is in that same manner even today. And the government of today have put some silver around it, so you can only see silver which is covering the 2 feet of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, footsteps of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned barakat in there, said that this stone was also from Jannah. And that's why Allah said, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. Take it as a place of worship, meaning face Maqam Ibrahim when you pray. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray his salah over here, also 2 rakats after Tahiyyatul Tawaf over here. This is Al-Hajar Al-Aswad. You see the black stone? Initially, it came down from Jannah. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it down from Jannah, this is the silver casing around it. The stone is inside. It was whiter than milk, and it was shining and illuminating. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Nazal al-Hajar al-Aswad min al-Jannah, wa huwa ashaddu bayadan min al-laban, fasawwadathu khataya bani Adam." The sins of Bani Adam turned it black. So Hajar Aswad has a sort of magnetic effect, and it attracts and it sucks the sins of those who kiss it or who point towards it. So it has turned black because of that. It is a sign from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is Hajar Aswad. This is also a place where du'as are accepted. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, he put his lips on Hajar Aswad and he kissed it, and he remained there for a long time, and he kept on crying while he was kissing Hajar Aswad. And when he turned around, he saw Umar was standing by his side, and Umar was also crying. So he said, Ya Umar, ha huna tuskabul abarat. This is the place where tears are shed. So you cry over here, Allah will accept your du'as. So Hajar Aswad is also a blessed place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissed. I remember some time ago, maybe 15 years ago, when I went for Umrah, it was night time, and I went for Tawaf, and there is a lot of rush at Hajar Aswad all the time. So people were, pushing and shoving for kissing Hajar Aswad. So I was doing Tawaf, and I saw an old man from Pakistan. He was standing and he was just, looking out, might get a chance to kiss Hajar Aswad. So I went round, and I came back after one round. I saw him still there, and I went round, and second time I saw he's still there, but he's not gaining any success. So for the third time when I saw him there, I said, patted on his shoulder, I said, Chacha, why are you wasting your time? Do your tawaf or do some other ibadat. You are an old man and there is too much rush over there. You won't be able to kiss it. And the Prophet ﷺ has said that if you point towards it, kiss your hand, it's the same as kissing it yourself. And he looks at me and he says, Bhai, ये तो हमको भी मालूम है, लेकिन जी चाहता है जहाँ सरकार की होंठ लगे वहाँ हमारे भी लग जाएं. I said, Bhai, I know that as well, but it is my desire that when my beloved's lips touch the place, then my lips also touch that place as well. I said, this is an ashik. You can't say, no problem, Chacha. I'm going. Who am I to tell you something? But he inspired me to go and kiss Hajar Aswad as well. So the next following night, I myself went as well. And the trick was that at about 2 o'clock, round about between 1 and 2, the cleaners come and they hold a rope around that area, and those who are inside the rope, they are allowed to kiss one by one until everybody goes, and then they're clean. So when the cleaners come, we are doing tawaf. When the cleaners come, we quickly go inside the rope and stand over there, and everybody goes one by one, and the police says, okay, those who are inside kiss and go. So our turn comes, and then we kiss, and then we go. So alhamdulillah, without any pushing shoving, we also kiss Hajar Aswad. This is Al-Hajar Al-Aswad, the black stone. Another view of Ka'batullah Sharif. This is Ka'batullah Sharif. This is the cement between the blocks. Before this was uneven. But in the year 1418, during the time of King Fahd, they renovated Ka'batullah Sharif. And that's when they made all these lines and everything straight. There's someone performing salah near Ka'batullah Sharif. This is the area from where the water of Zamzam is gushing. Right beneath. And at the moment, you can't go there, you can't see it. Because they have dug some pipelines and it keeps taking the water out from that area. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect Zamzam. And it's a miracle. From the time of Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. How many thousand years? Maybe at least 4,000 to 5,000 years since this water has been coming. This never stopped. And how many people take the water of Zamzam from there? Gallons and gallons, millions and billions of gallons of water is taken. But alhamdulillah, the more you take out, the more it gives. King Abdullah, who is the current king of Haramain Sharif, and he has started a project for filling Zamzam. And slowly he's going to start off and continue by providing for all the Hujjaj 10 liters gallon free to take home. So people don't have to go themselves and fill it with their own hands. So alhamdulillah, I was able to get, and that's why I was saying before that the Zamzam I bought, alhamdulillah, is from that which is certified by the government of Saudi, and they filled it themselves. Because some people cheat. They put some other water and they say sell, and they say this is Zamzam. So you can't trust people over there. There are all types of people. But alhamdulillah, this is certified by the government of Saudi. And anyhow, this is the area from where the water of Zamzam is. Another tasweer of Ka'batullah Sharif. Safa Marwa, where people are doing their sa'i. This is how the Ka'batullah Sharif's kiswa and ghilaf is being made. And this is, I think, when they are changing the ghilaf of Kaaba. This is the area where Hujjaj go. This is the area of Mina, some bridges around Mina. This is all Al-Mash'arul Haram in Muzdalifah. This is Masjid al-Namira in Arafat. This is Jabal Rahmat, where Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam met, and they supplicated to Allah and Allah accepted their tawbah. This pillar is a sign that this is Jabal Rahmat, because there are many small hills, but when you see that white pillar, that means that's Jabal Rahmat. This is the inside of Kaabatullah Sharif. This shows the diameters of Kaabatullah Sharif. This is Ghar Saur and this is Ghar Hira. Ghar Hira is on Jabal Nur. This mountain is Jabal Nur, and on it is Ghar Hira, where the first verses of Quran, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, were revealed. You can see it's very small, very small. Only maybe 2 people can pray Salah in there. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sit in there, and from Ghar Hira he could see Kaabatullah Sharif and Makkah Mukarramah. The houses in Makkah Mukarramah were small. The largest house in the whole of Makkah was Kaaba Sharif. No house was larger than Kaaba. In fact, during the time of the Turks, it was a rule that throughout the whole city of Makkah Mukarramah, no building can be constructed higher than Kaabatullah Sharif. Every building should be lower than Kaaba Sharif. So, Kaabatullah Sharif was the largest building during that time. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would sit here, contemplate, tasbih, taqdees. He would observe and look at Kaaba Sharif from this very spot where he was. And he used to come here and stay there for days and weeks. And sometimes a whole month would spend over here without going back home. He would take some provisions and survive on them. So this is Ghar Hira. And this is Ghar Saur. That's the mountain, Jabal Saur, and that's the cave. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed here for 3 nights when he was migrating. And this is the place where the pigeons built their nest and laid some eggs. And and the spider made his web. So it was a source of protection for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the mushrikeen didn't know who came here. They thought that this nest and this web has been here before Muhammad's birth, so he can't have gone inside. So they went away. This is Makkah Mukarramah according to history. That is how it was when Ibrahim alayhi salam came. Then it turned into this, then it progressed, and then this, and then this. Now it looks like this. And this is another old tasweer of Makkah Mukarramah, Kaabatullah Sharif. It's from 1320 corresponding to 1902. So 1900. So it's about 110 years old, this photo. This is, you can see this water over here, flood around Kaaba Sharif. This is what used to happen, because Kaaba Sharif is surrounded by mountains. It's in a valley. So when rain, there's heavy rain, even today as well, lots of water gathers around Kaaba Sharif. So it's become like a lake or a pond, and people are swimming in here. And you can see these 2 people sitting on the plinth of the door of Kaaba Sharif. And the water is up to Kaaba Sharif. This is higher than 6 feet, because the door of Kaaba is above our heads. We can barely touch it by our hands. So it's about 7-8 feet of water. ये काबा शरीफ फिनिश हुआ, और यहाँ से मदीना शरीफ. नमाज बाद मदीना शरीफ देख लेंगे. Medina Sharif. So Makkah Sharif photo is finished. Now we start from here, from Medina Sharif. ये मदीना शरीफ का एरियल व्यू है, मस्जिद नबवी शरीफ का, शाह फहद का एक्सटेंशन. इसमें कहते हैं सिर्फ शाह फहद ने पैसे दिए, हालांकि सुल्तान ऑफ ब्रुनई ने भी बहुत पैसे दिए. इसमें उनका नाम नहीं लेते हैं, लेकिन सुल्तान ऑफ ब्रुनई ने मस्जिद नबवी की रिकंस्ट्रक्शन करने में बहुत पैसे दिए हैं. तो पहले तो ये मस्जिद गुंबद खजरा है, छोटी सी मस्जिद थी, बाद में ये सारा एक्सटेंशन हुआ है. पहले इसके 4 मीनारे थे, इस वक्त 10 मीनारे हैं. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. माशाल्लाह बहुत बड़ी हो गई मस्जिद में. का रकबा जो है पता नहीं पहले कितने आते थे, अब कितने आते हैं. ये जो है बकीउल गरकद, जन्नतुल बकी. नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जब तशरीफ लाए हैं, ये उसे मस्जिद नबवी से इतने करीब है. आप देख लीजिए ना, ये मस्जिद नबवी शरीफ गुंबद खजरा, और यहाँ उसके साथ करीबी है. हालांकि पहले जो है आबादी बहुत कम थी, और बकीउल गरकद जाने के लिए मुस्तकिल सफर करना पड़ता था. یعنی مسجد نبوی سے نکل کر گلیوں سے نکلتے نکلتے گزرتے گزرتے پھر بقیع الغرقد میں پہنچتا. بقیع بہت چھوٹا تھا, پھر اس کو ایکسٹینڈ کیا گیا اور ابھی اس میں یہ رستے بنائے گئے چلنے کی. اب اس پر وہ چھوٹی چھوٹی گاڑیاں بھی چلتی ہیں, کیونکہ برسات میں وہ جنازہ لے جانے میں بہت تکلیف پڑتی تھی, تو انہوں نے وہ پیومنٹ بنا دی, وہ پتھر والے. تو وہ چھوٹی گاڑی ہوتی ہے, اس میں وہ چیزیں جو ٹرانسپورٹ کرنی ہوں, اینٹیں وغیرہ, تو ادھر سے ادھر وہ موومنٹ کرتے ہیں. یہ سب سے پرانا قبرستان ہے. سب سے پہلے جو صحابی اس میں دفن ہوئے ہیں وہ عثمان بن مظعون رضی اللہ عنہ, مہاجر تھے. حضور نے ان کے انتقال پر بہت افسوس ہوا تھا حضور کو, فرمایا کہ ان کو وہاں غرقد میں دفن کرو, بقیع میں. سب سے پہلے یہ یہاں دفن ہوئے, اور آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے ان کی قبر پر ایک ایسا سمپل سٹون رکھ دیا تھا یہ علامت کے لیے. بعد میں کسی اور صحابی کا انتقال ہوا, حضور نے فرمایا عثمان بن مظعون کے پاس ان کو دفن کرو. تو اس طرح پھر ایک دو کے کرتے کرتے پھر یہ قبرستان بنا. تھوڑی سی جگہ تھی. حضرت عثمان رضی اللہ عنہ, عثمان بن عفان جو تیسرے خلیفہ ہیں, ان کی قبر ادھر بہت دور ہے, کیونکہ وہ قبرستان سے باہر تھا. اس کا نام تو تھا حش کوکب. تو حضرت عثمان کو جب بلوائیوں نے, ظالموں نے شہید کیا ہے, تو اس وقت اتنا ٹینشن تھا کہ حضرت عثمان کی لاش پڑی ہے اور کسی کی ہمت نہیں پڑ رہی ہے کہ غسل دیں, کفن پہنائیں, دفن کریں. بلوائی اتنے زور سے شور مچا رہے تھے, جیسے وہ کل وہ اسٹوڈنٹ مارچ نہیں تھا, اور لندن میں کیا کیوس کیا, اور پرنس چارلز کی گاڑی پر بھی پینٹ ڈالا, اور اس کو بھی. تو اس طرح جب کیوس ہوتا ہے تو اس وقت تو کوئی سب کا مائنڈ چکرا جاتا ہے. تو بیچارے صحابہ بھی بالکل ان کو سمجھ نہیں پڑ رہی تھی. تو حضرت عثمان کو ان کے رشتہ داروں نے راتوں رات غسل دیا اور چپ چاپ سے ادھر جا کے دفن کر دیا, تاکہ کسی کو پتا نہ چلے کہاں دفن ہے. پھر جب حالات کام ہوئے تب بتایا کہ ہم نے ان کو یہاں دفن کیا ہے. تو حضرت عثمان وہاں دفن ہوئے. اس وقت جنت البقیع میں حضرت عثمان رضی اللہ عنہ دفن ہیں, حضرت فاطمہ رضی اللہ عنہ کا مزار ہے, ان کے بیٹے حضرت حسن ہی دفن ہیں, اور حضرت حسین تو یہاں نہیں ہے, لیکن حسین کے بیٹے امام زین العابدین یہاں ہیں, اور حضرت عباس ابن عبد المطلب یہاں ہیں. تو اہل بیت جو ہیں ان میں سے بہت یہاں ہیں. ان کے علاوہ آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کی دو پھوپھیاں ہیں, صفیہ بنت عبد المطلب اور امیمہ بنت عبد المطلب, اور ان کے علاوہ اور صحابہ ہیں عشر مبشرہ میں سے سعد بن ابی وقاص رضی اللہ عنہ اور عبد الرحمن بن عوف, اور اس طرح کے چند بڑے بڑے صحابہ, سعید بن زید وغیرہ. حضور کی ازواج مطہرات ہیں, 9 بیویاں یہاں ہیں, حضرت عائشہ, حضرت حفصہ, حضرت سودا, حضرت ام حبیبہ, حضرت جویریہ, حضرت میمونہ, سب بیویاں یہاں دفن ہیں. 2 کے علاوہ 2 جو ہیں خدیجہ رضی اللہ عنہ مکے میں ہیں, اور حضرت میمونہ رضی اللہ عنہ شریف میں ہیں. معاف کیجیے میں نے میمونہ کا نام لے لیا بھول سے. اور حضور کی باقی 3 بیٹیاں بھی یہاں ہیں. حضرت بڑی بیٹی حضرت زینب, ان کے بعد حضرت رقیہ, ان کے بعد حضرت ام کلثوم, یہ تینوں بیٹیاں بھی یہاں ہیں. ان کی قبریں الگ ہیں, حضرت فاطمہ کی الگ ہے. اور اس کے علاوہ ٹوٹل 10,000 صحابہ یہاں دفن ہیں, 10,000 صحابہ. اور پھر صحابہ کے بعد تابعین, طبع تابعین, بڑے بڑے ائمہ, محدثین, مفسرین, ان کی تو کوئی حد ہی نہیں. ہم لوگ سلام پڑھنے کے لیے گئے تھے, تو ہمارے ایک ساتھی نے ہمارے ساتھ, ہم تو بہت بڑا گروپ تھا, تو ہم چل رہے تھے. تو میں نے کیا کیا تھا کہ مسجد نبوی سے ہم ایک جگہ یہاں جمع ہوئے, اور سب کو میں نے بریفنگ کر دیا, اس کی ہسٹری بتا دی. پھر اندر گئے, کیونکہ سب ساتھ تو رہ نہیں سکتی, اس میں دکھتی ہے پوری برابر سے, بلی نہیں دکھتی ہے,
شائن تھوڑا سا ہوتا ہے, شائن لائٹ.
اچھا ایسا کروں تو
اب ٹھیک ہے,
ٹھیک ہے, تو میں ایسے ہی پکڑوں گا. بہت ماشاءاللہ پیاری تصویر ہے, بہت پیاری تصویر ہے. یہ مسجد نبوی ہے اور یہ بقیع الغرقد. ورنہ پہلے تو یہاں مسجد نبوی چھوٹی تھی نا, تو یہاں بہت بلڈنگیں تھیں, اور وہ زگ زگ اسٹریٹوں میں سے چل چل کر نکل کر بڑی دیر لگتی تھی بقیع جانے میں. اب تو کچھ بھی نہیں ہے, تو سیدھے یہاں سے 2 منٹ میں بقیع الغرقد. چلے آگے. یہ ہے آگے مسجد نبوی شریف کا رات کا منظر, یہ گنبد خضرا کا منظر. ہمارا ہوٹل جہاں تھا بڑا پیارا منظر تھا. ہم وہ اوپر میزنین کے فلور پر کھانے کے لیے بیٹھتے تھے, تو سامنے گنبد خضرا دکھتا ہے. میں نے کہا یار ایسا ہوٹل تو مدینے میں کسی کا نہیں ہوگا کہ سامنے سے وہ دکھتا رہے. میزنین پر کھاتے جاؤ, درود شریف پڑھتے جاؤ, حضور کو یاد کرتے جاؤ. اور بیان کرتے تھے تو بیان بھی بہت مزہ آتا تھا. نعت پڑھتے تھے تو ادھر روزہ ہے, اور ہم نعت پڑھ رہے ہیں. میں نے کہا حضرت مولانا حسین احمد مدنی رحمۃ اللہ علیہ یہاں پر 14 سال مسجد نبوی میں درس دیا. اصل مدینہ شریف کی تھی، حضرت وہیں رہتے تھے، پورا خاندان حضرت کا وہاں تھا. تو حضرت جب یہاں سے جب ہندوستان جانے لگے تو حضرت نے وہ گنبد خضرا کو دیکھ کر شعر پڑھا تھا: چمکتا رہے تیرے روزے کا منظر، سلامت رہے تیرے روزے کی جالی، ہمیں بھی عطا ہو وہ شوق ابوذر، ہمیں بھی عطا ہو وہ جذبے بلالی. تو یہ حضرت، میں نے کہا کہ یہ گنبد کا منظر، روزے کا منظر، یہ کہاں پھر ملے گا؟ تو الحمدللہ وہاں دیکھتے ہیں تو حضور کی یاد رہتی ہے. تو یہ وہاں کا منظر، یہ ریاض الجنہ ہے جہاں سلام پڑھنے کے لیے جاتے ہیں. یہ مردوں کو یہاں سے جانا ملتا ہے، عورتوں کو نہیں. عورتوں کو ذرا پیچھے سے سائڈ پر سے سلام پڑھتے ہیں. یہاں سے آتے ہیں تو یہ سمجھیے کہ یہ پورا ایسا ایک ہی فوٹو جیسا لگ رہا ہے. اور یہ آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کی بالکل سید میں ہے، یہ حضرت ابوبکر کی سید میں اور یہ حضرت عمر کی سید میں. یہاں لکھا ہوا بھی ہے کہیں ہنا السلام علی رسول اللہ، یہ ہے ہنا السلام علی رسول اللہ، السلام علی ابوبکر، السلام علی عمر. یہاں آیت بھی لکھی ہوئی ان الذین یغضون اصواتهم عند رسول اللہ. آواز پست رکھو، زور سے مت بولو، یہاں تو دھیمی آواز سے سلام پڑھو، چلاؤ نہیں. مگر افسوس کہ لوگ وہاں کھڑے رہتے ہیں اور شور کرتے ہیں، موبائل کیمرہ سے فوٹو کھینچتے ہیں، ایک دوسرے کی فوٹو کھینچتے ہیں، روزے کا فوٹو کھینچتے ہیں، تو ذرا بے ادبی ہو جاتی ہے. ایک صاحب نے تو عجیب سا کام حرکت کی، عجیب سی حرکت کی. ہمارے دوست نے بیان کیا کہ وہ آئے اور ہاں روزے کے سامنے کھڑے رہے اور موبائل فون میں کسی کو فون لگایا اور کہنے لگے لو جی میں روزے کے سامنے کھڑا ہوں اور اسپیکر آن کر رہا ہوں، آپ سلام پڑھ لو. اور فون کیا روزے کی طرف اور وہاں سے وہ سلام پڑھ رہا ہے. میں نے کہا یہ اچھی آئیڈیا ہے یار سلام پڑھنے کی، کہ کسی کو کہو روزے کے پاس جاؤ میں تم کو رنگ کرتا ہوں اور وہاں موبائل رکھ دو، میں یہاں سے سلام پڑھتا ہوں. لیکن سرکار کو اس کی کیا ضرورت ہے؟ اور تو بغیر موبائل کی بھی ہم یہاں سلام پڑھتے ہیں تو آٹومیٹک وہاں پہنچتا ہے، پہنچ جاتا ہے نا. حدیث میں ہے نا فرشتے پہنچانے والے موجود ہیں. ان للہ ملائکۃ سیاحین یبلغونی عن امتی السلام. اور ہمارے ایک دوسرے یونس بھائی ہمارے ساتھ تھے، انہوں نے بیان کیا تو وہ انہوں نے دیکھا وہ ایک دفعہ حرم شریف میں آئے، کعبہ شریف کے پاس طواف کیا، 2 رکعت نماز پڑھی، وہ بیٹھے ہوئے تھے. تو ان کے برابر میں ایک صاحب آئے، وہ بیٹھے نماز کے بعد جیب سے فون نکالا اور نکال کر ہاں خالہ جان کیسی ہو، ٹھیک ہو نا؟ پھر آپ نے مجھے بولا تھا دعا کرنے کے لیے، تو یہ خانہ کعبہ میرے سامنے ہے، میں طواف کیا، بھی نماز پڑھی، میں یہ اسپیکر پہ فون رکھ رہا ہوں، تم دعا کرو میں آمین کہتا ہوں. تو وہاں سے وہ خالہ دعا کر رہی ہیں اور آمین کہہ رہا ہے. وہ گنگنا ہوا، پھر اس نے دوسرا فون لگایا، ہاں مامو جان ٹھیک ہو، خیریت؟ وہ تم نے دعا کرنے کے لیے کہا تھا، لو میں آیا ہوں اور یہ دعا کرو میں آمین کہتا ہوں. اسپیکر کے فون نیچے رکھ دیا اور ہاتھ اٹھا کے وہ دعا کر رہا ہے اور ادھر سے مامو دعا کر رہے ہیں، آمین کہہ رہا ہے. تو یہ عجیب عجیب سب نئی حرکتیں شروع ہو گئی ہیں موبائل کی برکت سے، اللہ پاک رحم فرمائے. لیکن بہت سے لوگوں کو ہم نے دیکھا فوٹو میں، اپنے لوگ کم، لیکن یہ ترکی اور ایرانی بہت فوٹو کھینچتے ہیں اور پراپر یوں کر کے پوز کرتے ہیں، جیسے بالکل جیسے کوئی ذرا بھی ادھر ادھر اونچ نیچ نہیں ہونی چاہیے اور لباس برابر ہو. تو یہ میں نے کہا کہ یہ بیچارے فوٹو کھینچنے کے لیے یہاں آتے ہیں، وہ اللہ ہدایت دے، سمجھ دے. خیر بہرحال یہ ریاض الجنہ کا منظر ہے. یہ وہ حصہ ہے جس کو حضور نے فرمایا کہ میرے حجرے اور میرے ممبر کے بیچ کا جو حصہ ہے وہ جنت کے باغات میں سے باغیچہ ہے. The area between my حجرہ and my member is a garden from the gardens of Jannah. Meaning, whosoever prays in there with sincerity, inshallah, Allah will grant him a place in Jannah. So, when we go, we should try and pray there, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take us to Jannah. Some people, Mufassirin, say this means that this area itself will be taken into Jannah. It will become part of Jannah on the day of Qiyamah. So, it is a very blessed area, because, of course, it should be blessed, because who used to pray there? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahaba kiram rizwanullah ajma'in. So that area should be from Jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed there for 10 years. Today if we go to some place where some buzurg prayed for 1 year, or we take it as a blessed place. So one buzurg, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the biggest buzurg of all buzurgs. So this area is very blessed, and we should go and pray there. Alhamdulillah, we encouraged our group, and many people used to spend the time there. This is an old photo of Madinah Munawwara. It's from 1952. this is Medina Munawwara over the stages. This is how it was, then it became like this and this and this. And now Masjid Nabawi is like this. We mentioned there the stories of how this Gumbad was made and how that Jali Mubarak was made. Alhamdulillah, very lengthy story, sometime we will mention it. This is the area of Mount Uhud. You see this mountain? This is all Mount Uhud, Jabal Uhud. All this is Jabal Uhud. A sequence of mountains, they go like this. And you know, someone told me that if you look at Jabal Uhud with satellite from top, and its shape is like Muhammad.
No.
When you write Mim, Ha, Mim, Dal, then Jabal Uhud shape from satellite dish, it looks like Muhammad. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Uhud yuhibbuna, Jabalun yuhibbuna wa nuhibbuhu. Jabal Uhud is such a mountain that we love that mountain and the mountain loves us.
No.
So this is the place where the Battle of Uhud took place. It's about 3 miles from Medina Munawwara. And now it's become part of the city of Medina Munawwara. This is Masjidul Arish in Badr. So Badr is about 70 kilometers from Medina Munawwara. It takes about an hour and a half's drive from Medina Munawwara. So there is a masjid called Masjid Arish. Arish means jhupda, chappad, some covered area. So that is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed after the Battle of Badr was finished. So later on people made a masjid over there. So it's called Masjid al-Arish. And these are the names of the Sahabas who passed away in Badr. And these are their qabrs and grave of Shuhadai Badr. And these are the qabrs of Shuhadai Uhud. Sayyidina Amir Hamza is over here as well in the Mount Uhud. This is Masjid Quba, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came and he first stayed for a few days. And how many days he stayed there? In Bukhari Sharif there are 2 riwayats. One riwayat says he stayed there for 14 days. Another riwayat says he stayed there for 24 days. Shaykh Yunus Sahib said the riwayat of 24 is wahm, and the riwayat of 14 is more closer. However, he mentioned another riwayat in which there is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed in Quba for 4 days, and he said that riwayat is more stronger than the other 2. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived at Medina Munawwara, stayed in this area which is about 3 to 4 miles from the town of Medina Munawwara, which was small at the time. He stayed here, people used to come and visit him, and after 3, 4, 5 days he departed for the city of Mina. And then when the camel came, Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, please stay at my house, please stay at my house. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, छोड़ दो ऊँटनी को, वो जहाँ ठहरेगी वही हमारी जगह है, उसको अल्लाह की तरफ से हुक्म है, दऊहा फइन्नहा मअमूरतुन, leave it, where it sits, that is the place we will stay. So the camel came and itself sat down by the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiyallahu anhu. And Abu Ayyub Ansari radiyallahu anhu got the honor of hosting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for nearly 6 to 7 months.
No.
And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed as a guest at his house for 6 to 7 months. And then during that time, as soon as he arrived, in the beginning there was no masjid. So Sahabas used to pray on their own like they used to do in Makkah Mukarramah. Because in Makkah Mukarramah they couldn't pray collectively with Jamaat, so they used to pray alone. So over here is where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a group of Sahaba, whoever was with him, he would pray with them. But then he thought that no, this is not right, we need a place of masjid, to make masjid. So they were looking for some land, and they saw this land in front of the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiyallahu anhu, which belonged to 2 orphans. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them over, purchased the land from them. They said, we will give it as a gift. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, you are yatim, we can't take yatim's mal as a gift. We fix a price and we'll pay for it. So a price was fixed, and he paid the price. Who paid the price? Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. He had brought some money from Makkah Mukarramah, so he paid that price. So he bought the land, and it was renovated and built into a masjid. So the point I want to make over here is, you know, when you make a masjid, and whosoever prays on that place till the day of Qiyamah, you get sawab from that salah. So imagine the rank of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. He bought that land where Masjid Nabawi is, and till the day of Qiyamah people will pray, Siddiq Akbar will get sawab. So that is where Masjid Nabawi was made. And these pictures, I don't know whether they should be here or not. these are maybe for a lesson, ibrat. Allah mentions in the Quran the story of Salih alayhi salam and his people Thamud, Qawm Thamud. وَإِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا. Allah said regarding them, وَتَنْحِتُونَ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا فَارِهِينَ. That Allah gave you the ability and you used to carve houses out of the mountains and you used to make holes in them without any cranes, and you would make home inside and you would decorate it with your own hands. Why? Because the people before them were Qawm Ad, and they were destroyed by that storm, that heavy wind. So they thought that if such a storm and heavy wind comes upon us, then we will go inside those homes and secure ourselves, because wind can't go inside there. But they underestimated the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah doesn't need the wind, Allah doesn't need the water, like Nuh alayhi salam's home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just sent Jibreel alayhi salam down, and he just screamed, and that with that scream there was the zalzala, an earthquake. And in that earthquake they couldn't even move from there. They couldn't even rush to their homes, and they fell on their knees on the same spot, and the whole community was annihilated. So these are the homes which they had constructed. They are in the Saudi Arabia at the moment. When a person travels from Medina Munawwara to Tabuk, Tabuk is about 900 kilometers from Medina Munawwara. So on the way, these Madain Salih come. And Saudi has brought some historians, archaeologists, and they came and they opened all these up and renovated them, and they have turned it into a historical site. People go to visit there. Allah, source of source. You can see over here, they have made all these क्या कहते हैं सीढ़ी. Can you see the ladders, step ladders for climbing? So they have made all these ladders over here as well to go inside, and people go inside to visit. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by this area, he said, "Go, rush from here," and he said, "Do not enter their homes. Do not enter these areas unless you are crying. Maybe that punishment which fell upon them could fall upon you too." And there was a well over here, and people took some water out from there, and they had kneaded some dough with that water and filled some of their water carriers. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived, and he said, "No, whosoever filled this water, throw it away, and whosoever needed the dough, feed it to the animals." Because this area is where Allah's azab came. And when Allah's azab came, you can't camp, you shouldn't use that water as well. Somebody once asked me in Makkah Mukarramah, that Maulana Sahib, somebody told me that in Makkah Mukarramah there is a well where this camel used to drink from. And people say that if you drink from that well, then if you don't have children, then you get children. So I said, "Oh my boy, I think you are mistaken, and तुमको doubt हो गया, शुबा हो गया है with this untni of Salih alayhi salam. The well is there, and that's where the untni used to drink from, and that water is not blessed." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this regarding that water. So one of our Hujjaj said that, "Maulana Sahib, I was passing by, and there were, there are many near Darut Tawheed. There is the area of bus station where lots of pigeons come, and people throw seeds for the pigeons. वो दाने डालते हैं ना. तो some people were throwing. Normally people were throwing wheat,
you can buy them.
barley, but some people were throwing corns. So he says, I saw some people picking some corn. क्या कहते हैं दाने, मक्के के दाने. तो I asked them, "What are you doing?" So they said that, "Well, I heard that we know where the pigeons, the dana are being thrown for the pigeons. If you take the corn danas from there and eat 7, then if you don't have children, you will get children." So he says, I said to that person, "What are you doing? Who told you this?" He said, "Someone." I said, "Well, if I tell you that that's not right, will you believe me?" He said, "Yeah, I might do it. I'm telling you, they don't believe in such myths. Can you not see the Haram Sharif? Can you not see Kaaba Sharif? Allah. If you don't have children, go over there, make dua. So Allah pray Salatul Hajat. Allah will listen." But these danas and picking up these danas and eating those danas of the pigeons, first of all, throwing these grains for the pigeons, whether it's allowed or not, it in itself is a masla. The Muftiyan Kiram have said, no, it's not allowed, because the pigeons dirty all that area. And the people of Haram, they don't want that area to be dirty. There is so much there, क्या कहते हैं उनकी beat वगैरह सब, and they sometimes climb on the buildings and different areas and dirty things. So the people of the building don't like it either. So you shouldn't throw the danas and the what you call rings at a pigeon. Anyhow, this is the book Suwarun min al-Haramain. Some photos from Haramain Sharif. I brought this just as a reminder, as a history for our journey. Alhamdulillah, another thing I want to mention today as well. While we were in Makkah Mukarramah and in Medina Munawwara as well, we used to deliver talk every day. Sometimes I used to speak, and sometimes we used to bring someone else from outside. So one day Maulana Tariq Jamil Sahab came and he gave a very nice speech. And then in Medina Munawwara one day we had Junaid Jamshed. He gave a good bayan and then he recited some poetry. And then another day Saeed Anwar came. He also gave a good speech. Another one day Maulana Bilal Sahab came. He also gave a very good speech. So we used to have these different speakers and people used to gather. Alhamdulillah, the whole mezzanine and the dining area would be filled with Hujjaj and they would listen to the bayan. The most memorable speech was of Hazrat Maulana Tariq Jamil Sahab. He came and he started his bayan, and during his bayan he cried and he made everyone cry. He went into the he said that after a few introduction, he said that I will narrate to you the journey of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for Hajjatul Wada, his farewell Hajj. And in there you can understand the description of Hajj as well. So he started off that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam departed for Hajj in the year 10 after Hijrah, Zul Hijjah, Zul Qa'dah. And he realized that this is his farewell Hajj. So he told people that come along with me and learn your Masail of Hajj from me. So and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away 3 months after Hajjatul Wada, because Hajjatul Wada in the year Zul Hijjah 10 year and Muharram Safar and 12 Rabiul Awwal, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. So he knew that this is my farewell Hajj. So he wanted people to go with him. Therefore, he left Medina Munawwara and he camped at Zul Hulayfa, which is 3 miles from Medina Munawwara. He spent the night there. So people who are in Medina who want to join him can get ready, prepared. If someone has, nobody is left behind, and they can join him over here. That's why he came and spent the night. And in the morning, he washed himself. He prayed 2 rakats of Tahiyatul Ihram, putting his ihram on, and then he started his labbaik. And when he sat on his right, his camel, he said labbaik again, and he started his journey. Jabir says, if you look on his left, on his right, on left, ahead of you, behind you, people, ocean, sea of people. He left Medina Munawwara with 10,000 Sahaba. And then many joined over here in Zul Hulayfa, and then along his path, people kept joining him from the other areas. And by the time he had reached Makkah Mukarramah and performed Hajj, he had nearly 100,000 Sahabas with him. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started off his journey with the 10,000 Sahaba around him and traveling with him. Sahaba was screaming with labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata lak wal mulk la sharika lak, and with the azkar zikr. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ayyuhan nas irba'u ala anfusikum innakum la tad'una asamma wa la ghaiban innahu sami'un qareeb wa huwa aqrabu ila ahadikum min 'unuqi rahilatihi. O people, have mercy upon yourselves. Don't scream so loudly. You are not calling upon someone who is deaf or who is absent. He is the all-hearing, all-seeing. He is more closer to you than the neck of your right. So Sahabas cooled down because he knew you can't scream for so long. So they recited talbiyah moderately, moving on. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam camped at a few places, Araj, and then he traveled on to Al-Abwa, and then Usfan, and then another place, Marru Zahran, or he mentioned all the names, until Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived at Sarif, and he camped there, and then he entered Makkah Mukarramah from the side of Kudai and Zituwa. He stayed at Zituwa. There is a well there. He had a shower and he put on new ihram, changed his ihram, and then he arrived in Makkah Mukarramah and performed his Tawaf-e-Qudum. And he left Makkah Mukarramah, Medina Munawwara on the 25th of Zul Qa'dah, and he arrived in Makkah Mukarramah on the 4th of Zul Hijjah. So this journey was approximately 8 to 9 days. Now, then he goes, while he was traveling, and he arrived at a place called Al-Abwa. That is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother is buried. So when he arrived at Al-Abwa, the arrangements were, Sahabas who were ahead, they had made arrangements for the whole qafla and group to camp in the area which is inhabited and where people are staying. But when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived here, he went into that area where his mother's cave is. His mother's qabr and grave is. So Maulana Tariq Jamil Sahib said, I have been to that place and I have seen it. He said, people don't normally go there. But I said to my friends that one of my journeys, I want to go there. And somehow we, alhamdulillah, went. And when we, nobody wanted to take us, but some brother who was, alhamdulillah, helpful, he took us there. As soon as we went there, you can't go there. You have to stop, get off your car and walk, and then climb a hill, and then reach an area on foot. And then it's a hilly area, and on there, qabr of the mother of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Sayyida Amina radiallahu anha. And you look around you, there's mountains, and there's rocks and stones, and nothing, no place where a person can live on. And that area, Allah knows how you can stay there. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, and he went there, and he just went to his mother's grave, and he sat down like this, and he started crying. His head down, inside, started crying. And in the hadith of Mishkat, Sahabi says, فَبَكَى وَأَبْكَى مَنْ حَوْلَهُ. He cried, and he made those cry who were around him. And he cried for hours. Just sat there crying. Because he went back 57 years of his life. That grief which struck him at the age of 6, he couldn't get over it. It was still in his heart. And he couldn't forget his mother. How could he? He had come at the age of 6 to Makkah, from Makkah to Medina Munawwara. And while he was there, he stayed here for 2 months. And then he was returning with his mother. And the group has only 3 persons. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his mother Sayyida Amina radiallahu anha, and Ayman, who was the khadima of Hazrat Amina. Now, when they come here and they camp over here, Amina falls ill. And her illness increases, it intensifies. And she realizes that these are the last moments. And she calls upon Muhammad, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lies on his mother's chest, and she prays for him, makes du'as, says some couplets, and then she departs from this world. Now, Ayman and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they both dig the grave and bury the mother of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And after the burial, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a young boy of 6. He doesn't want to go. And he just goes to the grave of his mother. And Ayman says, come on Muhammad, come on Muhammad. He says, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay here. I want to stay here. I'm not going. Ayman has to somehow move him from there. And then they come back. And when they arrive at Makkah Mukarramah, Maulana said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never used to eat anything for 1 whole year. He couldn't forget his mother. He just used to go drink Zamzam, and that's it. So he was struck by this grief. He had no father, and his mother is now gone. He has his grandfather who's taking care of him. And then things move on. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went back 57 years of his life, and he comes here, and he cries, and those around him also cry. And seeing the state of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nobody moves. Everybody comes over there. The arrangements which were made in the village nearby, everything was forgotten, and everybody's camped over there. So Maulana says, I thought to myself, how could 10,000 people have stayed over here in this area? There's no water, no place to stay. But because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed there, everybody was there. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved on, and he arrived at Makkah Mukarramah. And then Maulana Sahib mentioned the farewell Hajj and how things took place, how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, performed his tawaf and sa'i and the du'as. Over here, this subject of the mother and parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is something which I want to touch on now. These days, some people out there put this question in front of people that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's parents, were they believers or not? What will their final destination be, their anjam? You know, we don't understand why they go into this debate. We should be very, very cautious and respectful with regards to the parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so much hurt and he is crying over here. So you are putting salt on the wounds of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How can you do that? By raising this subject. This is not for the normal people. Just, you're not going to be asked in the qabr or on the day of Qiyamah what was your aqidah with regards to the parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So why should we put people into this debate? If you really want to talk about it, then be very cautious, very respectful. I would say, let alone the parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should be respectful with regards to the uncle Abu Talib of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. Allama Ghulam Rasul Sa'idi, he is a Barelvi scholar and he has written a Sharh of Muslim. And in that Sharh, where this masla of Abu Talib comes, he goes into the debate and then he says that, there is a difference between Abu Talib and Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab used to hurt Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you said something bad about him, no problem. Tabbat yada Abi Lahabin wa tab. But with Abu Talib, you have to be highly respectful, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was hurt by him not believing at the time of death. So there should be a difference between the two. So I would say over here that we should be very respectful with regards to the parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well. Allama Jalaluddin Suyuti Rahmatullah alayhi has written a risala with regards to this masla called Masalikul Hunafa fi Waliday al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And in there he has proven that the parents of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on the day of Qiyamah will get salvation, they will attain salvation and najat, and they will also go to Jannah with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He has mentioned a hadith over there from Ibn Shaheen and others, that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came for Hajjatul Wada and he visited the grave of his mother, he prayed and he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise his mother and let her become a mu'mina. Allah accepted his dua and his mother embraced Islam and she believed in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And because of that iman, although such iman of other people is not accepted, but due to the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his mother's iman was accepted and she will be attaining salvation on the day of Qiyamah. Now some people will say some other ahadith over here, but those ahadith are mansukh and from before, and this is from the later on life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before his death, 3 months before his death. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives this to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what harm is in there? So this, our aqidah should be very clear with regards to the parents of